So where they're providing the services, and then service center information, service consumer information. Let's say this is the one of the requirements from the project, like that they try to build web applications depending on the platform. They will try to make some. They needed some REST APIs, then they can build the front end based on this REST API. The really simple application, like is a professional simple way application. Address location means where their service located. If you are in insurance company or bank company, where their bank located, where their customer is located. That's why they try to look. Basically this is focusing like the service center, health service center. Like if you're a city center, you have a service center and they have a lot of consumers to get the services that they try to take the all the service, the consumer information and their services, where they are located, where their consumers is consuming the services. Those things they try to make this APIs and build their web application. That's the really prerequisite for this condition. That's the requirement of the. And address location means where they are geographically located. Maybe they need a Google Maps or OpenStreetMaps to visualize all information into the maps. That's the idea. So it is a mixture of the geo and non-geo functionalities. The non-geo functionalities are simply web pages, and geo functionalities means everything you need to visualize in the maps, exactly where they're located, how the service distributed, all the geo functionality. That's I said this is one of the really small enterprise applications did a partition of that, the all things. The previous screencast that's who I had it like the mid Redix. That's the Redix REST API exposed that was the same requirement for this project, that only handling the user registration process. So just look for the same products. You see the microservice how it's handled, the modules. So logging microservices, like you have a login logout, all mechanism, user registration, password name, and all the privileges of user roles, and then you have one microservice for the user management, and then other microservice for the service center itself, the main content, main core functionalities. So that means the user registration microservice that's we did the last screencast with Redix. That means it's using for all any application. Doesn't matter with the service center or other maybe other cases for the insurance provider, or any how can say urban development pattern calculations to detect all the plots or buildings or floor. They can use those the registration APIs for here and for there for the other cases. That's why the possibility, that's I said, nowadays every application is microservice based application. There is no monolithic application anymore, everything together, but it is divided by everywhere. That's I said the architecture like that nowadays. In the any standard company will follow that one. So if you have a microservice using just microservices is as a generic approach in the front end, and then build your front end very quickly and very efficiently. That's I try to give it to you. How can you think how we are doing in the nowadays the developments? That's I mean. So I will do you every step, what the data requirement, what the content, what the entities, this one when I started the development. So let's continue the other part. So we already discuss about that screencast number with MongoDB development with another use case for development, testing, external configuration. Same thing. I have examples in our channels like Elasticsearch based CRUD operation and other operations, and I have the screencast with the Cassandra. You can follow this screencast number 16 and then screencast number 26. That's I said the last time the user registration process handled this one, this screencast number 26, and you can follow all of them. So I will. So now let's go the development. How can you build the projects? So we already build the projects, we already import the projects, but I need to be clear, give it to you. How can you build the projects? That's I mean. So just everybody knows there is a really web browser web services from the Spring Pivotal. You see the web start the Spring Boot IO. There's a really good tools or good web services. You can build Spring Boot applications from here from Spring Spring Boot initializer or speech initializer. So it has possibility, a really professional way to structure or to build your projects, basic project structure, and import this project structure into your respective IDE, meaning you can build the projects, unzipped it in the project into your local directory after the unzipping, and then take the project into your respective IDE. Doesn't matter the IDE. Eclipse is a good IDE. You can use IntelliJ or Visual Studio depending which IDE you are using or your company is using. It's independent. It's depending on IDE. But you see the generation of the projects is really standard here. I believe this is the standard structure. We are professionals. We also use these tools or is this web service to build the projects, and after that project is building, then we import the projects into our respective IDE. That's what we already did it here. So all the projects from the Spring initializer and import the projects like very simple way. That's I see very different projects and import the projects, and then that's all. So let's have a create the projects and discuss about it a bit more. So here you have a possibility with building tools, and then you have a Maven-based building tool, Gradle-based building tools. Those who are new for building tools, just Google it how it works. For our case, we already had some examples, many examples like Gradle-based implementation, building tools, and Maven-based implementations. Today, we just like Maven-based implementations. We are programming with Java. We can also go Groovy and Kotlin, and then we set the Spring Boot version number, and then project metadata. You see the group ID, Spring Boot RESTful API. This is project ID, Artifactory name, and the name of the projects and simple descriptions. We can say right down here the service center custom service center center REST APIs. So this is based on the GemFires. So the REST API, you just select the packaging options. That's I already need to talk a little bit. So there's two options. So jar file options, where file options, because the where files you need to be independently maintain your application container, web container. So this is old school how to handle it, the Tomcat and the other WebLogic or other web container. But we are doing standalone. This nowadays the standalone jar. This means jar files is containing your embedded Tomcat. So we don't need to take care of or maintain this Tomcat anymore. So just expect it as application as jar files, and then configure these jar files and deploy the jar files in hundreds of thousands of machines in the cloud or any network platform or anything. So you can select it the Java. So we are using Java versions, and when all the basic metadata of the projects, all the building tool language is selected, Spring Boot version is selected, then you can go also and then you can need the dependency injection. So we need maybe the Lombard dependency, we need this one dependency, the DevOps tool that everybody knows automatically compile your source code in a live reloading and configuration change, and it automatically reload your source code. That's the dependency did. Just those who are new, just Google it and learn it a little bit here. Then we can need some web dependency that is here. You can type it here. The web dependency. We need some REST repositories dependency, and then we need like GemFire. This is the drive GemFire. So GemFire is not included here. So GemFire, so it's not included, but we can directly input the fire. No, it is not here. So but you got the idea what it means. You can inject it, and all the dependency that you need, the GemFire dependency, and that's in DevOps tool, and then you need the actuator. That's what you're talking about. It's Spring Boot actuator. That's we already talk about a little bit here. How can you monitor your microservice applications where with the actuator. That means if you import the dependency or inject the dependency, actuate the dependency, it will expose all the necessary health conditions for your application.